in apparent protests of Abe funeral. And on sports, South Africa to bid for 2027 Women's World Cup. Those are the headlines. Now details of the news. I am Oluwaseun Akinola. The Independent National says, as well as governorship, but the list covered only the federal positions. The INEC National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee, Mr. Festus Okoye, said that INEC at its regular weekly meeting held on Tuesday approved the final list of candidates for the polls. Okoye said that the publication of the full names and addresses of all nominated candidates follows the political party's conduct of primaries and completion of the nomination exercise. The list of candidates for the presidential elections includes Bola Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress, APC, and Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Peter Obi of Labour Party, LP, Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso of New Nigeria Party, NNPP, Showore Stephen of the African Action Congress, AAC, Kachiku Dumebi of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, and 12 others with their running mates. Oyo State government has approved the sum of 12.5 billion naira for the reconstruction, rehabilitation, and dollarization of 35.6 kilometer Iwo Road interchange to Olodo Lalukmo Odoba Road. The Commissioner for Public Works and Transport, Professor Dawood Shangodoyin, will disclose this in a press briefing shortly after a State Executive Council meeting, noted that the approval was granted by Governor Seyi Makinde at the Executive Council meeting. The Commissioner equally explained that the project, which will be flagged off soon, was in synergy with the Osun State government to support road connectivity between the two states and improve socio-economic activities within the routes. Professor Shangodoyin, while adding that the project will be completed within the next 18 months upon flag-off, assured that political differences will not affect its execution.
The road project is subdivided into three parts. The first part is a 7.7 kilometer from Iwo Road interchange to Olodo Bridge. And also on the bridge, we are going to extend it to about 12 meters wide and 24 meters wide and 12 meters long. We also want to dualize the 500 meters from the bridge to Oguma-Rakin Junction. That's the 500 meters immediately after the bridge. And thereafter, we do a 27.33 kilometers from Oguma-Rakin to Odoba Bridge at the other end of Oyo and Osun boundary.
Also, the Commissioner for Energy, Barrister Seun Ashamu, disclosed that Council approved the restoration, modernization, and maintenance of street lights at 10 strategic junctions across Oyo State at the sum of over 247 million naira through alternative funding project approach. Some of the specified junctions are Secretariat, Awolowo, Bodija, Mokola, Ilewure, NTA, Adamasingba, Salvation Army in Ibadan, Songo, Isale, Taba in Shaki, Ode Junction in Oyo. Still in Oyo State, Governor Seyi Makinde has reassured the people of Oyo State that his administration will continue to be fair to all without marginalizing any zone in policy making. The governor, who made the pledge at the 2021 Oyo State Productivity Day and Merit Award Program held at Agunlesi Hall opposite UCH Ibadan to encourage and motivate civil servants, also promised that his administration will create a new face in the state civil service, stressing the significance of civil servants in effective service delivery. Governor Makinde, however, urged the awardees and their colleagues to be more proactive in discharging their duties and encourage those who were not awarded to buckle up ahead of the next assessment.
Road project is subdivided into three parts. The first part is a 7.7 kilometer from Iwo Road interchange to Olodo. 12 meters long. We also
Apologies for that audio mix-up. Earlier, the Oyo State Head of Service, Mrs. Ololade Agbola, enjoined the state civil servants to be more dedicated to their duties and uphold the tenet of service in the state. And speaking on behalf of the awardees, the chairman of Oyo State Transport Management Agency, OITMA, Akin Fagbemi, whose agency was awarded the Outstanding Agency of the Year, appreciated Governor Makinde for the recognition and his support to the workforce for optimal performance. 93 outstanding civil and public servants, agency and ministry were awarded at the 2021 Oyo State Productivity Day. The camp of Governor Oluwaseun Wike in the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has officially announced its withdrawal from participating in the presidential campaign of the party for the 2023 elections. The group made its position known after a long meeting which started at about 7 p.m. last night and ended by past 2 a.m. this morning at the private residence of Wike in Port Harcourt, the River State capital. Members of the group said none of them will participate in whatever capacity in the campaign council unless the national chairman of the party, Yocha Ayu, resigns for a southern candidate. Some members of the group were recently appointed as leaders and members of the campaign council for the party's presidential candidate. For Atiku Abubakar, present at the gathering at Wike's residence in Port Harcourt included Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State, former governors Olusegun Mimiko of Ondo, Ayo Fayoshi of Ekiti, Donald Duke of Cross Rivers, Ibrahim Dakwambo of Gombe, and Jonah Jang of Plateau. Former Attorney General of the Federation, Mohammed Adoke. Others at the meeting were elder statesmen Olabode George, Jerry Ghana, South Chairman of the PDP, Dan Obi, former Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Chibudam Wuche, Senator Suleiman Nazif, Nenna Ukeje, among several others. After over 7 hours of private meeting from 7 p.m. on Tuesday, September 20th, to past 2 a.m. on Wednesday, September 21st, they gathered to brief journalists on the outcome, with George stating the shocker. The decision of the Rivers Governor's Camp comes some days to September 28th, the official date for candidates to kick off campaign as announced by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. COVID-19 has economically impacted countries worldwide, particularly low to middle income nations. One of such nations is Nigeria. The impact of COVID-19 on poverty in Nigeria has been especially disastrous. Because of this, the downturn in Nigeria's economy as a result of COVID-19 has affected a significant number of citizens and worsened the impact of COVID-19 on poverty level in Nigeria. These thoughts were echoed by participants at the People's Assembly organized as part of the Global Week to Act for the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, by the Nigeria Network of NGOs in partnership with the Global Core to Action Against Poverty to call for more action on the part of governments world over, including Nigeria, to accelerate action on the SDGs. Oyebisi Oluseyi, Executive Director, Nigeria Network of NGOs, pressed home participants' declaration when he said the last 2 years have been difficult for families and communities across the country as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Listing their demands, the 85 organizations participating in the virtual regional consultation asked the government at all levels to make visible efforts to bring down structural barriers that affect access to health and socioeconomic opportunities of the marginalized and vulnerable populations, which will help mitigate the burden of epidemics and enhance the well-being of the workforce of the nation. The call to the Nigerian government to create and ensure a strong social protection system for all, which ensures a more rights-based, community-centered approach focusing on financial inclusion of marginalized groups to ensure equity in governance and processes and encourage civil society organizations to mobilize resources locally by engaging private stakeholders to contribute at least 1% of their annual profits to combat poverty and challenges posed by the pandemic. As the 1 p.m. news on Splash 105.5 FM, still ahead, Japan man set himself on fire in apparent protest of Abe funeral. South Africa to bid for 2027 Women's World Cup. We've got more on these and many more. When we return, we'll bring you more stories. Just stay with us.
My baby don't reach 6 months. Sure, 6 months don't reach now. Hey, now he be say breast milk alone no go do for your pikin again, no. Time don't reach to dey give am food where they soft, where they mash together. So, on top breast milk, make sure say you give your pikin food wey get at least one for these 5 sets. Egg, fish or meat, fruit plus vegetable, oil, beans, groundnut, soya or millet, rice, potato, maize or yam. You suppose mash these foods together so e go dey soft well for your pikin. From 6 months, your pikin need this kind food to make him body dey kakaraka and make it grow well. This message now from ARIN Project, Federal Ministry of Health.
LifeMate is bringing to your doorstep a Super Sofa Promo Festival. Enjoy 50% discount on any sofa you dream of and up to 70% discount every day on limited product sales. This offer lasts from September 9th to September 30th. We also welcome you to attend our afternoon live party on the 24th of September. Visit any of our showrooms today or call 081 2000 6000 for more inquiries. Terms and conditions apply. LifeMate, your LifeMate forever.
Mo lọ ṣe àyẹ̀wò nílé ìwòsàn ní jàre ni wọ́n bá sọ fún mi pé àìsàn ibà malaria ni mo ní.
Ẹ pẹ̀lẹ́.
Ara mi ti balẹ̀ láti ìgbà tí mo ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń lo oògùn tó kó fún mi láti. Ó tilẹ̀ jẹ́ wípé mi ò parí ẹ̀ ó jèrè.
Ṣé yóò mọ̀ wípé kò sí ìwúlò nínú oògùn tá a bẹ̀rẹ̀ tá a lò tán ni?
Mo ní kí n kó pamọ́ ní jèrè nítorí ọjọ́ mi. Ẹ wo, ẹ dákun ẹ fún mi ní fùfún àti ẹ̀fọ́ rírò.
Ọ̀dà náà.
Ìyá olóúnjẹ, abọ́ yóò kún.
Ìgbà tó jẹ́ pé aláfipamọ́lẹ̀ lọ́kù tá à ń ṣe ń sìn. Kémi náà bá yín fi díẹ̀ pamọ́ torí ìgbà tẹ́bi ọba tó payé tó bá yá o.
Báwo nìyẹn ṣe jẹ́?
Kéèyàn má parí oògùn ibà malaria. Ó dàbí ìgbà tó jẹ́ pé téèyàn bá jẹun kékeré nígbà tẹ́bi ń pa. Ibà yìí lè padà wá pẹ̀lú agbára káká. Ọwọ́ oògùn tí a fi pamọ́ òun kò wá nílé ká mọ́.
Ìyá ọlọ́gbọ́n.
Ẹ lọ lògùn tán o.
Èyí kọ́gbọ́n o, ṣe bó ti yẹ.
Ara gbígbóná a máa yíwọ́ o bí ènìyàn bá tètè mójútó ní kíákíá pàápàá jùlọ fún ọmọdé tí ọjọ́ orí rẹ̀ kò tí ì kọjá ọmọ ọdún 5 lọ. Ẹ jẹ́ kí a kọ́kọ́ ṣe àyẹ̀wò fún ìbànú kí a sì rí dájú wípé a lo oògùn wa tán pátápátá fún ìtọ́jú tó péye.
Ìkéde yìí wá láti ọ̀dọ̀ ìjọba àpapọ̀ tó ń mójútó ọ̀rọ̀ ìlera àti àwọn èèyàn Amẹ́ríkà.
Thank you for being there. We're still on the news on Splash 105.5 FM, and we're turning to the foreign scene. A Japanese man set himself alight, evidently to protest a state funeral for ex-Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, who was assassinated in July. Hundreds of foreign dignitaries are expected to attend the funeral on 27th September. On Wednesday, witnesses called police after spotting a man on fire near the Prime Minister's office in Tokyo. Officers put out the blaze and took the still conscious man to hospital, according to local media. The extent of his injuries and his current condition is unknown. And Japanese media reports say the man is believed to be in his 70s. More than 200 whales have been found stranded on the west coast of Tasmania, Australia. The whales, half of which appear to still be alive, were discovered in Macquarie Harbour on the island's west coast, where the country's worst stranding occurred 2 years ago. The reason for this latest stranding is unknown, but whale rescuers have been sent to help. The 230 whales discovered in Macquarie Harbour on Wednesday are believed to be pilot whales. It comes just a day after a separate mass stranding in northern Tasmania. And finally, sports news. South Africa's Football Association is planning a bid to host the 2027 Women's World Cup. Its top executive, Tebogo Motalante said the country will like to be given an opportunity to roll out the red carpet again in 2027 during the women's tournament. The decision to bid was made at the South Africa's Football Association, SAFA, Weekend Executive Council meeting. South Africa hosted the 2010 FIFA Women's World Cup, becoming the first and only African country to have hosted the prestigious competition. But it faces stiff competition from other bidders such as Netherlands, Belgium and Germany, which have already launched a shared bid for the 2027 tournament. The United States of America has indicated a desire to bid for the 2027 or 2031 contest. South Africa had been in running for the 2023 clash but pulled out. And just before we go, a quick recap of the headlines. INEC has published final list of candidates for 2023 national elections. Governor Wike's camp has withdrawn from Atiku's campaign, insisted Yocha Ayu must go. A Japan man sets himself ablaze in apparent protest of Abe funeral. And we told you that South Africa is to bid for 2027 Women's World Cup. For more details on the news, please visit our website at www.splashfm1055.com. And now you can download Splash FM mobile app on iOS and Google Play Store to listen live, get news update, opinion poll. You can also report an event live to us through the iReport feature. To download, simply go to any of the stores mentioned and search for Splash FM 105.5 and then click to download. We've now come to the end of the news on Splash 105.5 FM, the integrity station and the best radio station in the southwest of the country. The news editor is Tunde Olawu, assisted by Chinwe Churchill. I am Oluwaseun Akinola, thanking you for investing your time with us. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Quick, Charger 240.
Hot news, cool vibes, sports, and more on the Integrity Station.
Splash FM 105.5.
Why is this television signal clear?
What?
Since yesterday, and this fridge isn't cold. I can't believe this.
Okay, I could barely sleep last night because of this noisy generator.
Wahala, for who don't see original electronics buy.